Hey there, everybody on Facebook. This is Christian Brindle. I just recently got home after about a 13-hour workday working with my clients, people on Medicare. For those of you who don't know who I am, I work with people on Medicare of all different shapes, sizes, situations, and so on and so forth. And I probably had 10 people today that were clients of mine, or that I'm working with them on their Medicare health plan, reach out to me to ask me what my thoughts were on what was announced today as far as what the White House was going to be administering, putting into place as far as some changes that take place with Medicare. And when they were calling, I didn't have a chance to really respond much to what they were saying, and probably the main reason for this is because I've been working all day, and it's the Medicare open enrollment period. If I was a tax person, this is my tax season. And so I hadn't had a chance really to react because I hadn't heard it yet. I hadn't had a chance to listen to it, and so on my way home, I recently got home, I was able to finally listen to it. And now I'm in a better position to be able to react to it. So any person that's watching that will see this later on, that's a client of mine that reached out to me, here's your answer. Here's my reaction to kind of what was said and placed into motion. So basically, if any of you have followed me for some time, or you're clients of mine, or you listen to my podcast, the Everything Medicare Podcast, you know that I am not a big believer in socialized medicine, Medicare for all, anything like that. I'm just not a big believer in it. And, it's not because I'm biased because I work in the insurance industry or I own an insurance agency. It's primarily due to the fact that if you look at the places that it's being done, it just hasn't worked out the way that people would like you to think. And, I could go into that, but this isn't a topic for that. My reaction to the conference and the speech that the president gave today in Florida is this. It appears to me the agenda is going to be to push more funding into Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D plans for funding. Looks like there's also quite the agenda to push forward trying to lower the cost of prescriptions. There wasn't a whole lot of detail given on how they plan to do this. So my personal opinion is I think, and I believe a bill was signed and put into motion. You guys might know that better than me, so forgive me if I'm a little shoddy on the details. I kind of just was able to listen to it and react to it. So as a person that works with people in Medicare, as a person that owns a Medicare insurance agency, as a person that's worked with Medicare for many years now, this will be my 6th year working with people on Medicare, and as a person that's worked with multiple different insurance companies, and as a person that has worked with many people on their Medicare plans over the years, I don't ever have a problem when they decide that they're going to put more funding, more money into the Medicare program. Now, the emphasis that was made today, from what I heard, was for Medicare Advantage. And I don't have too much of a problem with that because I'm in the ballpark and I'm in the boat where I want my own clients, selfishly, to be able to get as much out of their Medicare as possible because that's why I'm in business. And I want to be able to give my clients as much as I possibly can. And so I have no problem with that from a selfish standpoint. Now, do I think it's a good thing? I do. And I think if they're able to lower drug costs, I think that's well overdue. I think it's something that should have been done a long time ago. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of detail to how they plan to do these things. So at this point, it's kind of just like a wait and see thing. But from the message that I got was there is no plans to touch the Medicare unless there's a change in the White House. There is no plans to cut any funding for Medicare Advantage. And, as someone that works with Medicare Advantage every single day of my life, I can tell you that Medicare Advantage plans, from what I have seen, seem to be getting stronger and pay for a more well-diversified array of benefits each and every year. I'll give you an example. About 5 to 10 years ago, Medicare Advantage plans in the markets that I worked in, and when I started doing this about 6 years ago, I really only worked in the market of Utah. Medicare Advantage plans did very little, if any, dental, vision, hearing coverage, and if they did do it, it was very, very minimal. Now, fast forward to 2019 going into 2020, Medicare Advantage plans, a lot of them have tremendously high dental, vision, hearing programs. And so the progression with Medicare Advantage and the diversity of the different benefits that they have been providing has been increasing in my eyes, year after year after year, in different ways. And so to see more of that, it could possibly open up a door where we have more coverage for long-term care facilities. I saw a client today that is in a long-term care facility. She doesn't have, at the moment, Medicare doesn't pay for long-term care. It could be possibly considered, skilled nursing coverage in the first, 100 days or so. But after that, there's really no coverage with Medicare. The only coverage person can really have on that is if they, had the sound mind to purchase a short-term care or a long-term care plan. And so, maybe we'll see more Medicare coverage for long-term care. Anytime you see more funding dropped into something, they're trying to improve the coverage. And it means that it's an agenda and it's an intention. So I'm all for that. But like I said, we'll have to see what happens, and a lot will be determined by how the presidential election goes next year. Because at the end of the day, Medicare is a government program, and whoever's in power in the government will determine what the program is going to look like. I hope this answers anybody's questions that reached out to me. Hopefully you see this video if you are a client of mine, or you're a fan of the Everything Medicare podcast, or you've read my books or anything like that, and you just want to get my perspective. Hope I answered the questions. A lot of mystery, a lot of unknown. We're going to have to wait and see how this plays out, but I didn't hear anything I disliked. Now we just got to see how it's executed. I don't have a problem, though, with any of it. Have a great night, everybody.